Ben White has refused to play for the England national team despite attempts by Gareth Southgate and his teammates to convince him to return to the team. Not your average footballer, White is one of the most mysterious players in the Premier League, and a look at his lifestyle away from football gives us an idea of why the footballer is so difficult to understand. White has also signed a new long-term contract with the Gunners, but while his career has been excellent so far, Ben White's controversial lifestyle continues to shock more and more fans. Benjamin William White was born on October 8, 1997 in Poole, just outside Bournemouth in England. Coming from a family with no football history, White was not the typical football fan as a child. However, being an active kid who also played tennis, hockey, and a lot of cricket, it didn't take long before White picked up the sport, and once he did, he had the full support of his parents despite not being football fans themselves. White joined the Southampton Academy at the age of 8 and worked his way up the ladder. With training sessions and matches in between school, Ben had a unique childhood, but in between those years, it was a rough time for the young Ben. The Dorset-born youngster often fell sick as a child and needed antibiotics often. According to his mother, his immune system was not working, and if somebody sneezed, White would end up with pneumonia. White was in and out of the hospital, spending months dealing with more than half a dozen different infections, and by the time he was 7 years old, he had gotten his appendix yanked out by the surgeon. Also dealing with lots of allergies, White's parents often had an EpiPen to save him in case he had a severe allergic reaction. From when he was 8 years old until he was 16, White remained in Southampton's academy, but then got released by the club, who didn't see much potential in a quiet, skinny boy with health issues. He subsequently joined Brighton after initial interest from Bristol and Leicester City. The Seagulls took White despite his difficult medical history and offered him a scholarship. However, he struggled to get playing time, which is completely normal for any 16 or 17-year-old trying to break into an established team. So for the next 3 seasons, White was sent on a series of loan spells at Newport County in League 2, Peterborough United in League 1, and Leeds, who were in the Championship at the time. The defender played every single minute of Leeds' title-winning championship season in the 2019 and 2020 campaign. Coming back to Brighton in September 2020 after working his way up the ladder, White signed a new long-term contract with Brighton. As a result of his performances, he picked up the Player of the Season award at the end of the season and also earned his first England start. The Gunners were willing to splash the cash and make him their most expensive defender come the summer transfer window of 2021. And since then, he has been absolutely brilliant for the club. Already featuring in over 100 Premier League games for the Gunners, White has been praised for his never-say-die mentality, his character, maturity, and leadership skills. With a hefty price tag label seen as a problem for him following his move to Arsenal, White has handled the pressure very well. But it hasn't been all rosy on the international stage. The 26-year-old White has not featured in the Three Lions squad since 2022, returning early from Qatar for what the FA called personal reasons. However, reports would later emerge that White had a clash with England assistant Steve Holland. Since then, White has declared himself unavailable for England duty, which means that he'll likely not be in the Euro 2024 selection. And with limited information at our disposal, it's hard to say what really went wrong for both parties. Plus, White's unwillingness to talk about the situation only adds to the enigma behind the player. But maybe a sneak peek into his lifestyle will give us an idea. Who knows? White married his girlfriend Millie Adams in May 2023 at a private ceremony at the Old Marylebone Town Hall in London, and weeks later they followed that up with a second wedding in Mallorca. The couple began dating in 2022. Unlike some other footballers who keep things private, the couple's love story has been well documented on social media, with the happy couple sharing pictures of their engagement and honeymoon in Ibiza. Millie Adams, who's about the same age as her partner, is an Instagram model from Hertfordshire, and she has thousands of followers on social media. Adams graduated from Nottingham Trent University in 2019. Speaking about their relationship, White told us his competitive nature sometimes creeps in when the couple plays board games, as he always tries to win every time they play bat and ball, Uno, and other games. Ben White lives an amazing lifestyle away from the pitch. According to the defender, he's always 100% focused on the pitch, but once he leaves there, he switches off completely. Despite being in an enviable position as a Premier League footballer, White barely watches any games. His unwillingness to follow the typical mold of footballers only contributes to the air of mystery around him. I didn't ever watch football when I was younger, and I still don't now. White told Sky Sports. He did, however, admit that he watched his clips to help improve, but that he wouldn't watch a football match for fun. Those comments were met with some criticisms from fans who questioned his dedication. In his box at Arsenal, White has no extended entourage, just a tight circle of family. His father, mother, uncle, and then a few friends, all of whom attend almost all of his games. Back home, White enjoys simple pleasures like spending time with his family, walking his dog, and seeing the countryside. In keeping with his humble lifestyle preferences, the defender has also told us that he would have been a gardener like his dad if he hadn't made it as a professional footballer, also mentioning that he doesn't see himself staying in football in any capacity once his playing days are over. But there's more to his complex personality. White also has lots of interest in fashion, and together with his former Brighton teammate Jason Davis, White launched a men's fashion label, Returnite. Tattoos are a big thing for White. On his neck, he has the word shine inscribed and a small cross next to that. A massive tattoo of a lion's eyes stretches across the defender's chest, and on his hands, we also see more ink. Every bit fashionable, White loves the designer clothes, the tan, the trendy haircuts, and the bold fashion statements. And don't even get me started on his diamond 18-karat white gold-plated hoop cross earring and the silver chains, all of which makes us wonder what his properties might look like. White and Adams live together close to the club's training ground, although we don't know any specifics about their North London mansion. That being said, we know that White drives a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Preferring to stand out among the crowd, the defender copped the 300,000-pound Cullinan, which is a real showstopper. With a twin-turbo V12 with up to 592 horsepower, the Cullinan's performance is simply breathtaking to say the least. But with expensive vehicles in his garage and luxury items all around him, how much is the footballer worth? Well, to answer that question, we need to take a look at his salary. White earns £150,000 a week at Arsenal, which makes him a top 10 earner in the club. With an annual salary of almost £8 million and on a contract set to expire in June 2028 with the option to extend a further year, White is no doubt one of the highest earning defenders in the Premier League. When you also take into consideration his sponsorship and endorsement deals, private ventures, and performance-related bonuses, we reckon that the footballer's net worth is just under $30 million. Compared to fullbacks across Europe's 5 biggest leagues, Ben White is in the top 10% for progressive passes and passing accuracy. His versatility, quality on the ball, and remarkable stamina prove that he has been quite a bargain for Arsenal. So it isn't quite surprising to see that White played in every Premier League game last season and has only missed one game for the Gunners this season in the league. He's known for playing through injuries also, but there have been some controversies about the defender. White was recently accused of play acting during the Gunners' recent clash against Brighton, which ended in a 3-0 win for Arsenal, but with the game at 1-0, White nudged Brighton's left-back, Pervis Estupiñán, in the 51st minute, and when the Ecuadorian retaliated with a push, White collapsed to the ground and was holding his throat, as we can see in this clip. The footballer has also been criticized for refusing to play for his country and has been vilified by certain sections of the press. But truth be told, no one is under a compulsory obligation to play for their country, so you can't force a player to play against his own will. The interesting thing about Ben White is that there is a stark disparity in how fans see him inside and outside of Arsenal. He's often misunderstood for the most part, but for the Gunners faithful, he is on his way to becoming a cult hero and is proving his worth to the club. The next piece of the puzzle will be to lift silverware with Arsenal. But when do you see that happening?